Writing for Project Syndicate in quoted business, the former Greek finance minister slammed the possibility of a second Brexit referendum and mirrored Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's repeated calls for a general election. Mr. Varoufakis said, "Democracy can never aspire to being more than a work in progress. Decisions made collectively must constantly be reappraised collectively in the light of new evidence, yet, in the UK's current circumstances, nothing would be more poisonous to democracy than revisiting Brexit by means of a second referendum." The former politician argued that the Brexit process is too complicated for another referendum to be viable. Mr. Varoufakis said, "British democracy is in difficulty. But a new referendum cannot be the answer to the disaster triggered 2 years ago. Once the process under Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty is activated, no binary choice, yes or no, to drive the UK out of chaos is available," and Mr. Varoufakis warned that another referendum would threaten democracy. He said, "Referendums, however, are not designed to explore 5 alternatives. A second referendum represents a second threat to democracy. Because, in essence, he would say to these people, you made the wrong decision, now go back and choose the correct option." Mr. Varoufakis concluded that the Prime Minister must call a general election to allow people to decide on Brexit. Yanis Varoufakis said Theresa May's only option is a general election. Image, Getty. Jeremy Corbyn has repeatedly called for a general election. Image, Getty. He said, "So, if a second referendum is not the way for the British people to regain control of the Brexit process, what is? The answer, as called for by Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, is an immediate general election, to be fought on all of the relevant issues at once and presenting the various alternatives in full. The people's next vote on Brexit must concern not only their preferred exit path but, crucially, the mix of domestic economic, social, and institutional reform policies that go with it." The Greek economist's warning comes at a time when Theresa May is battling to reach a deal ahead of the UK's departure from the EU next March. Updating the House of Commons on the Brexit negotiations today, Mrs May claimed a deal could still be made between the UK and EU. She told MPs, "I continue to believe that a negotiated deal is the best outcome for the UK and for the European Union. I continue to believe that such a deal is achievable, and that is the spirit in which I will continue to work with our European partners." Additional reporting by Maria Ortega.